What's good? What's up? How's it going? Welcome back to the show. My name is KEL. I appreciate you coming back for another live episode of the KEL Show. Stuff to talk about today, as always. I've actually got some questions in, so I thought I'd answer some questions today. Some people asking me things here and there, and over time. They aren't all new questions, but they're definitely questions I've been asked a few times. So we're going to cover that stuff. How's it going with you out there? What's new? What's good? What's the story? The constant quest for how things are going to go and look and sound and see. Always trying to make it better. Let's see how today stacks up. Thanks for tuning in. Just let everybody kind of get settled here, including myself. Coming to you live from Prague, as always, here in good old Sub Studios. It's been rainy, crappy in Prague, but spring is peeking its beautiful head through the clouds here and there, so you can tell we're about to get some nice weather. Finally, good stuff. Good stuff. It's been a classic week for me. Gigs, studio work. What else did we do this week since the last time I saw you? We've gone electric at the gigs. My solo gigs, I've busted out the good old electric guitar. Definitely some bright spots in there. Definitely some, some room for improvement. It's definitely a work in progress. It will grow over time. It will evolve. A lot will be added. I think I'm going to do a separate kind of show about the gear, the setup, that kind of stuff. Take you through my live rig. And maybe start even doing some streams again from my gigs now that I got a new sound, which I used to do some gig live streams back in the day to pop my live stream cherry, so to speak. And might get back into that as things are shaping up. Got some new stuff, make it sound better. Hopefully look a little better as well. We'll see. Anyway, let's get into some questions. I've been asking people what they would like to hear about, collecting some questions, wrote down a few of the more interesting ones, and let's go through them. So let's dive in, as I say. Oh, this is a classic question. This is actually a very good question. And I don't know, the answer might be kind of funny, but here's the question. How do you keep your performances fresh when playing the same songs over and over? That's an excellent question. And the answer is you don't. Basically, you do get bored. So as that happens, you kind of have to just adjust and rearrange and do things different. For example, change your whole sound, change the way you do things, change up the song a bit. That's why when you go see big concerts sometimes and a famous artist will be playing one of their biggest hits, they'll do it some weird jazz version or change it up completely or turn a fast song into a ballad or vice versa. I mean, I remember seeing Doja Cat doing a full metal version of Say So one time. And it's like, the thing is, you do get bored, but at the same time, people want to hear the songs they know and they love, the songs they know you for. If you're that kind of artist, if you're in a specific style of place, if you're playing covers, they definitely have an expectation of what kind of stuff you're going to play. So it's one of those things where you kind of have to just suck it up and do it anyway and find different ways to make it fresh for you, whether that be the sound, the arrangement, and more focusing on them and try to focus on making the crowd kind of appreciate it more and making the crowd be involved And if you're lucky enough, you get to play to a different crowd every night, which I have that kind of dreamy scenario where I play the same places, but the crowd always changes because it's usually tourists, which is kind of cool. So anyway, that's how you keep it fresh a little bit. But to be honest with you, you do get bored, and if I never hear another song that I am currently playing again in my life, I probably wouldn't be sad about it, if I can be perfectly honest with you. All right. If you could jam with any artist, dead or alive, who would it be and why? This is a weird question because I actually think the answer is, in a way, no one, because all the artists I admire, whether they're here or gone, I just think that me jamming with them might ruin what I like about it. I think if you take somebody like John Lennon, it's like, I don't want to really interfere with that genius, or Jimi Hendrix, or I love Radiohead. I wouldn't want to kind of step in. I mean, if I could go on stage with Pearl Jam and play one of the songs from my youth, that would be kind of amazing. So that would be kind of cool. But it wouldn't really be from a creative level, from the creative side. It would be more of just getting to stand beside some people that helped shape your youth and upbringing, something like that. I would say for me, it would be more like working with a producer. I mean, Rick Rubin obviously would be a dream come true. Collaborating with somebody, I guess the word jam is what throws me off, because I wouldn't really jam with anybody, but collaborate. I mean, I'd love to do some work with some cool hip hop artists. I mean, it's hard to say currently, but I actually love Kanye and sorry. And, I'd love to do something with him, or, Kendrick, or one of these artists I admire. But jam, I guess, is not the right word. But yeah, collaborate. Yeah, there's definitely some producers I'd love to work with. Rick Rubin again. Yeah. Collaborate. Be guided by, I guess, would be a more apt way to say that. So, let's find another one that's good. What's a moment in your career when you thought, yep, this is why I do this? And what's one where you almost threw in the towel? Okay. Now, this is a weird one. I play a lot of kind of private gigs, a lot of corporate stuff. I was doing a lot of weddings at some point, and it's a weird gig because it's a big day for the couple, so it's a very important thing for them, and there's a lot of, as a musician, you don't want to, as anybody involved in the wedding, you don't want to be the one who fucked it up. Basically, you don't want to be the one that ruined the whole thing for everybody. You want to be a hero. You want to make it the best day that it can be for them. At the same time, you do what you do, and that's all you can do. So there's been times at weddings when I thought, oh man, I'm really making these people happy, and this is really what they wanted, and you could just see how the music was the perfect soundtrack to the emotion and the event that was happening around you, and the feelings and the people and the party and all that stuff. So that's been kind of a weird thing to say, and that's probably not what the question's asking. And obviously there's been huge gigs that I've done that are just unbelievably cool and fun and awesome, and that's what you always dreamed about when you're a kid is, oh man, I want to play a huge stage with thousands of people clapping and singing and cheering, and that's obviously amazing. So yeah, that too. I think stepping outside of the live arena for, something that made me think, yeah, this is why I do it, is just as a producer working with some clients sometimes when they tell you that, yeah, this is exactly what, I sound like inside my head. And when you help an artist, as a producer, when you help an artist find their identity or express themselves, that's kind of an amazing feeling. And when you're just really kind of vibing and getting along in the studio and everything's working well, that's just truly amazing when you actually get in that zone of collaborative work, which doesn't happen every time and doesn't even happen that often, if you ask me, not often enough. And from a songwriting perspective, when people tell you that your song meant something to them, and I love this song and it really meant a lot to me at this point in my life. I used to listen to it all the time, and it always reminds me of that. That's just a really cool feeling if somebody tells you that. But what's something that made me want to give up, throw in the towel? I don't think there's any one moment for that. It's more of a series of, this can be kind of hard. This can be kind of not rewarding. All the hard work that you do that's by yourself, that you spend hours editing a piece of music or in the studio, or you spend hours practicing, and all those things it's just lonely and hard and frustrating sometimes when you don't get the feedback you're looking for and people don't necessarily know or care what you're doing or what you're about. They just kind of, I think, yeah, so the worst reaction you can get as a musician is, if somebody says, oh my God, I fucking hate that. That's honestly better than apathy. It's better than somebody just not caring. So that is a big deterrent. That's something that made me just seriously quit. But like something that made me think about not quitting music in general, but quitting some of the things I do, is just some of the crowds I played to here in Prague. I won't name the place, but sometimes you just get these giant groups of, British tourists, and sometimes they're just fucking horrible people, and they'll start chanting football songs while you're playing. And I've heard them do it to Robbie Williams and stuff. So it's not even you. It's just I don't know, some barbaric part of their culture that they export when they go on holiday. And I've been on stage when that's happened, and I've kind of lost control of the very big crowd. And definitely those moments I was just thinking, yeah, fuck this. What am I even doing here? Why am I wasting my time? So yeah, that was something for sure. All right. Here we go. You cover a lot of classic pop and rock. What's one song you swore you'd never play but ended up loving? Now, loving is definitely a very strong word, but I've always tried to avoid all the typical stuff, to be honest with you, and I've been relatively unsuccessful with that. You got the classic joke in America where everybody screams "Free Bird." Over here in Europe, it's more people screaming "Wonderwall." It's kind of the Free Bird of Europe. And early on, I didn't realize that, and I did play Wonderwall, and I don't like to play it. I don't play it usually. That's definitely one. So I don't like it, so I actually don't mind Oasis. I think they have some great songs. I just don't think Wonderwall is on the list of great Oasis songs. So I don't get it. But one thing I do play, and I reluctantly learned it, but it's actually kind of fun, is the classic cornball pub song of all pub songs, Sweet Caroline. It's actually kind of fun to play. I'm not going to lie. you know, people love it. Everybody in the room goes, ba, 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 which isn't in the song. I don't know. But, you know, I don't love it, but it's more tolerable than other things I've done. I'll say that. All right. You've played all over. How does the European music scene compare to the US, especially when it comes to making a living? Yeah, I think that it doesn't really matter, honestly. I think people are music fans. I think it varies all across America, and it varies all across Europe, where there are places, pockets in America and pockets in Europe where live music is very popular, and in places where live music isn't cared for at all. You know, it's more of a DJ or electronic music scene. And I think I've mentioned it before on the point of making a living with playing music. You need to have a crowd. So if you really want to make a living playing music, the best way to hedge your bets is to be somewhere where tourists are. I know a ton of people that live in Key West and play music, for example, because it's just part of the Key West experience is having live music all over Florida. You know, you walk down the beach and there's a million dudes playing at the little local bars and that. And I live in Prague. You know, millions of tourists come through here every year, so it's the same kind of vibe. When you have people looking to have a good time, then entertainment is required, and that's what you need. So I would say, on the one hand, it's not that different. I would say the taste in what particular music people want to hear is a bit different, more than anything else. All right. What's one thing you wish someone had told you about the music business when you were just starting out? Honestly, what I wish somebody would have told me about the music business when I was just starting out is A, that it's very possible to make money and support yourself and not be a starving artist, while also not compromising your life by doing something you hate just to pay the bills. I wish that I would have been informed that it is completely normal and possible and realistic to make a moderate living playing music without being a star, without getting a big break or making it, or, you know, being famous, or all those things that people think you need. Luck, that right person's going to hear your demo and they're going to take care of you. And this is the thing. The only thing you need in probably any kind of art, but let's just keep it with music. The only thing you need to make a living is fans. So if you have some fans, and they can be fans of whatever part of you that you do, like you playing covers, whatever, people like it, then you can make a living. And when I was coming up as a kid, everybody from my dad to Joe Blow down the street would tell me, oh, you know, making it in music's like hitting the lottery. You just got to get lucky. You got to see the right person at the right time, and they'll make you a star. And I think that it's become more obvious these days than when I was young, but nobody is going to make you a star, but you can make yourself one if you really try hard enough. And if you really stay focused and you just do the work. And that's the biggest thing, is you just need to show up every day and work. And if you do that for 10 years, you can have a career. You know, some people will end up being big and famous. Some people will just have a nice little life that they can have a job that they don't want to commit suicide over. So that. All right. Getting dried. Oh, this is a weird question. What's your take on modern pop music? Anything you respect, or is it all just overproduced noise? I love modern pop music, actually. I'm one of the few old guys that I really like new music. I'm constantly trying to find new stuff. I think there's probably more good music out in the world now than there ever was, which obviously just makes sense. It's just math. More music comes out, so more of it's going to be good. Now, I do think that music doesn't hold the same value to people as it did back in the, early 2000s and before, up until then, basically. So it's never going to be as legendary. You're never going to have another Stairway to Heaven or another Yesterday or Hey Jude. I think that nothing's ever going to be that important to culture as it was, or, Like a Virgin, or I don't need to keep naming stuff, or I Want It That Way by the Backstreet Boys. I mean, these songs that are ingrained in some piece of culture, YMCA, So I don't think that will probably ever happen again. However, I do think there's a lot of people, young people, cool people, making a lot of cool music. I'm literally always trying to find new stuff. I went to see Artemis, actually, a few months ago. He came and played a club here in Prague. I was into his stuff, and I thought it was really good. I still think he does cool music. It's very cool. I was, preaching about Billie Eilish when she had one song out to everybody I knew. I drug my other adult male friend to her concert here for the first time in Prague, and we were literally the only grown men in O2 Arena that didn't go there with our daughters. So that was kind of creepy, but it was, she's great. What else? I like the Brat album, Live in the Brat Summer. The Dare. I don't know if anybody knows The Dare yet, but he's cool, making some cool noise. And I mean, it's like, what's pop, I guess? Like, to me, pop is more like stuff that's just kind of not guitar music that's also mainstream. So, yeah, I like it. I think there's a lot of good stuff, a lot to be learned from it. And, yeah. All right, let's see if we got another one here. What's the weirdest gig you've ever played? I played a lot of weird-ass gigs, to be honest with you. Early on, when I was first starting, we just tried to play anywhere and everywhere. We literally played at nursing homes, like actual nursing homes, because the singer in the band I was in worked at the nursing home as the activities director, which is like the guy who tries to make these old people have fun. And they were like, it wasn't that nice of a nursing home, honestly. So it wasn't really people getting in the best shape, which I don't know much about nursing homes. But so imagine me and my teenage rock band rolling up into this actual nursing home with actual 80, 90-year-old people in wheelchairs, not totally aware of what's happening around them. And then my teenage rock band shows up and just starts going for it. That was weird. I actually had an experience with my band recently where we played at someone's wedding, and then 10 years later they decided to have some kind of celebration, 10-year anniversary thing, and recreate the party of their wedding, and they invited us, and we were apparently a big integral part of their wedding, which was awesome, and it's an honor, and I'm super happy it worked out. However, we've done a lot of them, so it was hard to even remember, who's who, what's what, and like they remembered obviously a lot more about it than we did, and as I mentioned, it's their big day. For us, it was another wedding, and to make a long story short, not a lot of people showed up. We played. 10 years later, all the wedding guests were 10 years older, most of them parents, and couldn't really hang past 10 or 11 o'clock, and it was a really kind of dead party, and it was really awkward, I have to say. That was also very weird. But yeah, I've played a lot of weird gigs. I played everywhere, and a lot of them are weird. All right. So, all right, last one. You've been in the music game for a while. What's the biggest lesson you've learned about making a living as a musician without being famous? Which I just had a video about this recently, which you can check out on how to do it. But I think the biggest lesson is just that it's possible, that it's not that big of a deal. It's a huge business. It's a huge employer of, I think, millions of people work in the music business. And, people just make it too big of a deal about it. Like it's some kind of special privilege to be able to work at something you work hard at and you're good at and people enjoy and people like. But it's just there. It's just, there are many levels of it. I think that's the thing people forget. People always talk about a big break or like making it. Making it was the saying when I was coming up. It was like, oh, we're gonna make it someday. It's like, make what? Like, just do it. And there's no making it. You just are doing it or you're not doing it. And if you do it and you don't suck at it and you constantly try to get better and you are professional and all those things, you can make money on some level. Nobody talks about becoming a doctor. It's like, I'm going to make it someday. It's like, no, you just work hard and you become a doctor. You get paid what doctors get paid. And then some doctors make millions and are specialists and heroes. And some doctors are just taking care of people and they make less and it's still good. So I think the biggest lesson is just, it's very possible. It's very realistic, and don't let anybody tell you it's some pipe dream, because it's absolutely not a pipe dream. It's just a thing. It's a thing you do. Doing that thing you do. All right. I appreciate the questions from people that wrote in with them. And I appreciate you hanging out here. I think we're going to start moving towards making some noise over there with the guitar. I'm doing this because I can come here and really be extra experimental, and I don't have to worry about what anybody thinks, because, it's my show. I can do what I want. Do what I want. I think one of these days I'm going to start busting out talking about politics and tell you what I really think, but not today. I'm going to actually do an experiment at some point and see how hard it is to get canceled, if that's still a thing. Like, is cancel culture still alive? Do we still cancel people because they have their own opinions? I kind of think so. The world's crazy. I think that if this isn't all just a big show and a big script, it's almost too hard to believe that the way things are going, that it's just really happening like this. I don't even know. One little thought that I would like to leave you with is that I think it's the stupidest take to have to think that if there are two sides to something, to think that one side is 100% evil and the other side is 100% good. That's just crazy to think that would be the case. And it's crazy to think that that's the world we're living in. Whatever side you're on, and I'm mostly talking to America, so whatever side you're on, the other side is not 100% wrong. And whatever side you're on, your side's not 100% right. There's good and bad on both sides. And it used to be like the normal way people thought. And now it's just not anymore. People just taking sides. And I don't know. You're all wrong. There. I'll give you a common enemy. It's me. A centralist. All right. Anyway, before we get too much into that, I think we're going to take a little break, and we're going to set up, play some tunes, make a little noise, make a little music. All right. Catch you after the break.
Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. And maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. The things I should have said and done just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you this lonely, lonely night. Guess I could have told you so happy that you're mine. Made you feel second best. Forgive me, I was blind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that our sweet love hasn't died. Give chance to keep you satisfied, satisfied. Little things I should have said and done, just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that our sweet love hasn't died. Give me one more chance to keep you satisfied, satisfied. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could. I should have said no, just never took the time. You were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. You were always on my It's true, you're always on my mind. I'm always thinking about it. world's on fire, no one can save me but you. Strange what desire made foolish people do. I never treated I'd lose somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. No, I wanna fall in love. No, I wanna fall in love with you. Wicked game you play, make me feel this way. A wicked thing to do, make me dream of you. A wicked thing to say, never felt this way. What a wicked thing to do, make me dream of you. No, I don't wanna fall in love. No, I don't wanna fall in love with you. This world's on fire, no one can save me but you. Strange what desire will make foolish people do. I never dreamed that I'd lose somebody like you. I never dreamed that I'd love somebody like you. No, I fall in love. No, I wanna fall in love with you. With you. when you were here before. Could look you in the eye, just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. So fucking special, sharp and special. I'm a creep, I'm a little. What the hell am I doing here? 'Cause I don't care if it is. I wanna have control. I want a perfect body, I want a perfect soul. I want you to notice when I'm not around. You're so fucking special. I wish I was special, but I'm a special. Wish I was special, but I'm a creep, and I'm a widow. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong. All right. Thank you again for tuning in. Thanks for watching me, listening to me talk, listening to me sing. I'll see you next time. Conspiracy is suspect, and there's a virus in the subtext, but I just wanna go outside. A complicated payday buried me in red tape, and stealing everybody's time. Now the underground, cutting up a thousand sounds, cascade off screen, deep in colored by my yellow sign. Lost the only thing I hold dear. So happy fucking New Year. Another round of biding time.